Welcome to another Saturday night, taking it to the nub. I'm your host, Boston Jimmie. This guy right here, he's my guest in the lounge, in the Stogie Press studio, watching the sausage getting made himself.
Yeah, baby.
Kevin Schweitzer from Rockefeller Cigars.
How's everybody doing?
Hope everybody's doing fine. We're just going to get things rolling a little bit. So first thing we got to do is knock out a little bit of advertising.
And today's show is brought to you by Casa Cuevas Cigars. In the 19th century, Juan Cuevas, Spanish immigrant from Santander, began what was to be a family business which now spans 4 generations. Like others fortunate enough to live and work in Pinar del Rio province of Cuba, Juan commenced cultivating tobacco, turning it into a successful business. Following in his father's footsteps, his son Juan Jr. continued with the family business, successfully expanding it until events which took place in 1959 forced a dramatic change. Years later, in the Ciabo Valley of the Dominican Republic, Luis Cuevas Sr., Juan Jr.'s son, carried on the family tradition of handcrafting fine cigars in the family's cigar factory, Tabacalera Las Lavas. Today, Luis Sr. is joined by his son Luis Jr. in the manufacturing and sale of premium long filler cigars at their factory, Tabacalera Las Lavas in Santiago, Dominican Republic. So check out Casa Cuevas Cigars at www.casacuevascigars.com and on their Instagram and Facebook channels.
All right. So, Kevin, welcome back to the Stogie Press Lounge. I know you're no stranger to this.
Absolutely not.
You've been here numerous times, but this is the first time I think we've done a show directly from the studio.
Absolutely.
How do you like the studio?
I love it. It's awesome. I mean, I've smoked in the Stogie Press Lounge before. We've tried various blends in here before. I've come up here many times, but I like doing a show in here. It's very cool.
Yeah. So anybody out
Very
there,
laid back, cool.
feel free if you're in town, just give me a jingle that you're coming to town, and we could always do a show live here too, because I like this format even better than just distance, virtual stuff.
Yeah.
So, before we started this, you gifted me this unbanded cigar, something new you said you were making, and I'm going to say that this is a very savory, meaty cigar, something that is not anything that I know of out of your portfolio. So it's kind of unique to your portfolio, I would say.
Yes.
What is your plans with this?
So that's going to be Art of Magic 4.
This is the
Art of Magic 4 is going to be coming out probably within 60 to 90 days. I'm actually not going to say what the name of Art of Magic 4 is yet, but we reached out to a good friend from South Florida to help us make that cigar.
So interesting, because the previous one we had a Kardashian and we had
the Kardashian.
So it's still going to have a magic kind of
It's going to have a magic theme to it, yes.
Magic theme to it, but
I never reveal the name like a good magician.
I'm not going to get you to reveal the name until it's time, but I'm looking forward to it because I'm in my head. I'm trying to think of things magic that are savory. It's almost like almost illusion in my, not illusion, but like a magician's illusion, or like even like the mind freak guy.
Oh, Chris Angel.
Like Chris Angel type of stuff. This is just like heavy duty stuff.
No, actually, it goes back to Houdini.
Okay. Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying.
No, actually, the Art of Magic 4 project goes back
why
to
not?
something Houdini did.
See this?
So Houdini's famous for metamorphosis, where somebody goes into a trunk, they're covered with a robe, go back in, and they're two different people, and then he's walking through the audience, and everyone's like, "Where is he?" It's not metamorphosis, but it's another very powerful trick that Houdini did.
Wow. All right. So we've broken it down to something Houdini. So do your research out there and see if you can figure it out. We got Casey watching, we got Kelvin watching, we got Jeff Walsh watching, Tyler Garcia. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. I know I did. I spent a week before Thanksgiving in New York, hanging with family, taking care of some family business, going out to dinners, Bronx Zoo, Little Italy in the Bronx. I had such a phenomenal time that I forgot what day it was when I get home, which is a precursor to my retirement, I realized.
Right.
So I'm looking forward to this, to where I don't have, where every day is a Saturday. But how was your Thanksgiving?
So we went to a restaurant this year. Last year we did a buffet. We went to a restaurant in Boca Raton called Farmer's Table. So we rented out a table and we had the whole family there, me, my wife, and the two kids. So it was the immediate family, and it was really nice. We had a good time.
Look at
You know,
that, a lot of
except for
good
the kids
food.
going back and forth every 2 seconds about what they wanted to eat. It was a great time. You know what
So
I
it
mean?
was sit down menu based.
A sit down menu based. It was a prefix menu,
Oh, okay.
but it was very good. And we always go there, me and my wife. We happen to like that place.
Very nice, because we did the only thing we the only every year there's a screw up at the dinner table. Okay. My wife cooks such amazing food. There's always something she forgets to bring out because there's so much to bring out. And we're all sitting down. We ate all the food. We ate the whole dinner. We're starting to get into desserts, and we go in the refrigerator, get desserts out, and we realize that the cranberry sauce is still in the refrigerator, which led me to think about cranberry sauce. Does anybody really give a shit about cranberry sauce? I come to the realization that at this dinner, which everybody usually has cranberry sauce with their turkey, nobody had cranberry sauce and nobody missed it or asked about it.
That's interesting.
Which is like, do we really care about it, or we just eat cranberry sauce because it's
traditional, right?
It's traditional.
You know what? For me, the best part of the turkey dinner is the stuffing. Because like every year it's a different kind of stuffing. This year we had an apple type of stuffing that was absolutely with cinnamon. That was absolutely amazing.
Think about stuffing in cigars,
Right.
right? The ingredients to make stuffing. There's so many different stuffings that you have at different people's houses and
Right.
restaurants, and they're all uniquely different because of how they prepare it.
Correct.
The spices, the ingredients, just like cigars are.
Right.
You know, so when your palate is eating, you're picking up all these great flavors. When you're smoking something, you have a good quality cigar, you're picking up all these interesting flavors. Like this one right here is, like I said, it was savory. I just got into kind of a floral note. So I'm going to say there's some Dominican tobacco in this, because I
Possibly,
get
yeah.
floral with Dominican.
It is Nicaraguan Dominican fillers, yes.
So, but that earthiness, that savory note, I'm looking to see how this really develops. The burn is beautiful. I mean, it's got just a little bit of wave on it, but the ash is solid. Very nice. Good job.
Thank you.
So how's everything else going now? I mean, you've been doing this for what now? 7 years?
7 years.
7 years.
I remember when I first met you. I think it was at IPCPR 17, right? Or 16, I forgot.
Like that. And you've been doing this now. You're one of the hardest working brand owners in this business. You're everywhere. You're never home. I feel sorry for your wife. She's like a.
For the last couple of months, I've been home actually.
Well, this is a good thing.
Yeah,
You know,
for the last 2 months, yeah.
But you pushed it heavy.
But we're about to hit a major road trip soon.
Okay.
I'll be up in New York, up in the Northeast. I'm going back to Texas and then Chicago.
And that's what you got to do.
100%.
You can't be in this business half.
No, you can't be half pregnant.
You have to go all in. If you're going to be slinging cigars, you have to have quality product. You have to have a consistency. You have to have new things coming out. It doesn't have to be every year,
Right.
but you always got to have something fresh for somebody to latch on to. And you got to be working shops and working relationships constantly. And that's what you do. And you built a business. And you're in how many shops now?
Almost 200, 150, somewhere in the high hundreds.
High hundreds, close to 200 shops. You probably want a little more, but these are reordering shops, though.
Right. There's a lot of them reorder.
Which is a testament to what you have.
Thank you.
Who's your, okay, I probably shouldn't ask who your favorite shop is, but
Yeah, that's a bad question.
That's a bad question. I wouldn't ask that question. That was in the head. Say who's your favorite shop? That's a personal thing. But when you look at shops, what without naming shops, when they do events with you, what do you like best about shops when they do events with you? Do you have a feel for where they are helping to promote it, or they're making you do all the work? I mean, how's that?
So when we do an event, I like to be heavily involved. I like to sit there and give the education on what cigars are all about. So especially for the younger generation, I like to explain to them what they're smoking. So eventually they come back and say, wow, that guy was really helped. And no one ever did that for me in the beginning, except one store, De La Concha on 6th Avenue in the very beginning, right? Lionel and George used to sit there and explain to me everything about the cigars. And I remembered that. And I was in my 20s at the time. So I think that's very important for younger generation, especially millennials and Generation Z, if they're going to keep smoking, is they have an education what cigars are all about. So we don't want to sit on our ass. We like to help people. We like to tell them about the cigars. We want to know where their palate is. That's how we do it.
Yeah, and when I was
You know, it's funny. Casey's on, right?
right,
So Casey, I remember me and Casey were talking. You tell him the coffee that they drink, he'll tell you the cigar you want.
that's skill.
Yep, that's skill. So that's the kind of person you want
Experience.
in a cigar lounge.
Yeah, I remember when I was in my 30s, there was a local Cuban guy here. He owned a local Cuban restaurant,
Right.
and he also had a house right on US 1, and he had a kind of an out parcel that his son ran a tattoo parlor on one side, and he had like a cigar shop next to it. And it really wasn't a cigar shop. It was where he did all his hand rolls himself, and then he would sell them in the Cuban sandwich shop.
Right.
But I would go there every day after work and hang out with him. And he taught me so much.
Because it's a culture.
Leaf. He was passing knowledge to me. I was a sponge. He was showing me rolling techniques. He was showing me leaf sorting, de-stemming, how leaves burn only certain ways. Don't fuck up where you put the leaf on a cigar because it could mess up the whole bunching.
Right.
You know, and he gave it all the way down the line, would explain it all to me.
And there's so much to learn.
There is always something.
There's so much to learn about the plant, the farming, the fermentation process. I mean, you can go on and on and on and on and on. But in my opinion, you don't really learn it until you start going to the factories. When you go to the Dominican Republic and you're in the ditches with them, or you go to the factories in Nicaragua and you're in the factories and you sit down and conversations with the blender, smoking different fumas and learning what each leaf is, that's what you have to do, right?
Because now you're learning your spice cabinet.
Yeah, exactly. You're learning everything. And I truly believe if I gave my cigars and gave them to another master blender, it would be a different cigar. Everyone's like, oh, I can repeat. No, you can't. Because it's like making sauce, right? Everyone makes it in their own way with their own little touch. And that's how they have their signature on the cigar.
Right. Right. And that is my absolute experience. You know, I had my hands on one cigar in my life, and I think it came out well. It might have been a fluke, all I know, but I think I picked the right leaves for it that I knew would work. Could I repeat that on another one? I tried, it didn't work. Okay. And I was like, nope, it takes a lot to blend and be consistent at producing a quality
Absolutely.
for both flavor and burn.
We're lucky in both our factories. We have two great master blenders, Juan Valdez, Lolito in American Caribbean, and Victor de la Cruz and Hardy down in the Dominican Republic.
Well, you've hedged yourself nicely too.
Yeah, had to hedge yourself.
You've got two different operations, like you said, in Dominican and Nicaragua. Nicaragua is going through some more craziness. The news lately on Nicaragua has been a little weird again. I worry for what's going on there, and how it's going to affect not just cigars, but cigars, coffee, sugar, rum,
Right.
all of that. It's just where's it going to go? You know, can we get them to see the light and move in the right direction, or are they going to continue to take this country down a path where the people are going to revolt?
Yeah, they are starting to move more further away from a democracy, I guess. But Nicaragua is a wonderful place.
It is.
I mean, seeing those people, factories with almost 200, 300 people in the factories, that's their life.
People,
And they're dedicated and they put into it and they're always smiling, right?
yeah,
No matter how bad it is, they're always
they're
smiling.
always smiling.
I wish
Exactly.
75% of people in the United States could go down to Nicaragua or a country similar to Nicaragua and see how it is and come back with a whole nother line of gratitude when you walk back and put your head on the pillow.
Yeah.
For me, I've always traveled, so I've always enjoyed seeing people from different cultures and different.
Just look what happened with Nicaragua. Miss Universe is Nicaraguan, just announced, right?
Right.
And so the people are wonderful.
Right.
Every person I ever met down in Nicaragua has been a gem.
And Nicaragua's in the spotlight now because of her.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. And and what comes with that title, like even a Miss America title, I believe, is now you've got to do things for the next year. All right. Miss America would do that from a nationwide perspective, but Miss Universe does it from a world stage.
Right.
She has a world stage that's been handed to her. We'll see how that all works out.
Right.
All right.
Absolutely. I agree with you.
So what do you so besides the Art of Magic, what else you got on the back burner though? You got coming up the PCA now, it's a short run. Just
We
finished
got the Great
PCA.
Smoke. Abe invited me to the Great Smoke this year.
There you go.
So
Congratulations.
I'm looking forward to that.
That's the
The
first time
Smoking
for you.
socialites are a hell of a group.
Mhm.
And they support us and I support them. And I love those guys.
They're-
I love
they're-
everybody at Smoke Inn. And
Oh yeah.
yeah, it's been cool coming down to Florida and hang out
Because
with the
now
whole
you
Boca
live- now
Raton
you live
cigar
down in
crew. We
Boca
did an
and-
event there recently.
Yeah. How do you like living in Florida then?
I like living in Florida. It keeps me closer to the business. So if there's a problem, I can catch it before something happens.
Mhm.
And that's important.
Still looking for permanent residence?
Permanent, yeah, looking for a house still.
You've been doing that for a long time.
Yeah.
You got like analysis paralysis. When it
Yeah. Well, yeah, we'll see what happens.
There's so many cool places to live, and actually the house prices in Florida come down a notch.
They have come down a little bit.
Okay, so the market
It's not as crazy.
market's adjusting. Banks starting to banks individually, independent of the Fed. I noticed the other day have been pulled back some of their interest rates. Okay, they made some announcements. So
And we'll see if the Fed follows.
well, even if the Fed doesn't follow, I think the banks recognize that if they want to stay healthy in this mess, they have to get interest rates, mortgage rates at a level where they can give mortgages. Because if nobody's getting a mortgage, they ain't making any money.
Right.
You could hold out for the 7%, or if you make it 6% and you get people to sign up for mortgages at 6%, you'd rather make at least 6% of your money because you know the interest rate's coming down.
Right.
All right. It's only a matter of time. It's just a cycle, right? So if you're a bank, why wouldn't you?
So the hedge funds have lost 48 billion in the last 6 months shorting the market. What people don't get, I'm explaining this to you in a real simple way of being in the market for 35 years. What people don't understand is when they want the market to come down, it never comes down. It teases them. It comes down a little, but then goes right back up. It never comes down. Black swan events like 9/11, the pandemic will cause the market to crash.
Right.
When they don't expect it. It comes out of nowhere. So everyone's betting the market will come down, but the market's the greatest discounter in the world. The market's telling you it wants to go higher. And what happens? Banks start lowering rates. Eventually the Fed's going to file because they have to. So
do you think that, stick on the market for a second, do you think we have been able to navigate or are close to navigating that soft landing we've been talking about? Do you think we're close to it?
with rates this high, the Fed has a lot of room to take them down in case there's a problem and start printing again.
So
right?
is that a yes? You think
Yes.
it's a soft landing? You don't.
I don't know if it's a soft landing or a semi-recession. We'll see. But I don't think it's going to be bad.
Yeah, I mean, what would you classify as a semi-recession?
I guess 2/4 of negative growth.
2/4 of negative growth.
Right.
We've
GDP.
had phenomenal growth.
Yeah, we've had phenomenal growth.
Okay. There's one thing of, the economy, we could talk about the economy day in and day out, but this economy is resilient. People are spending money. Now, I did talk to people the other night, and they mentioned that like somebody was in Costco the other night, and they said it wasn't that busy, Black Friday. And I'm like, I don't know, other places are the same, but I don't know if that's an indicator of Christmas buying. People are not spending, or are people just not going to brick and mortars and are going tomorrow?
We'll find out.
We'll find Monday.
We'll find
Cyber
out.
Monday,
Yeah,
right?
we'll find out.
We'll find out where the money's going. So if that works, then the economy continues to roll on. I think if we get bad numbers, what happens? Is that the peak of, is that the
That could be the sign that causes them. Remember, you get a lagging effect, right?
Mhm.
When rates go up, it usually takes 12 to 16 months to find out the effects of those rate hikes. So with unemployment going back up,
Mhm.
I think the Fed's going to stop raising when unemployment hits 5%. We're almost there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think you're close to the end of the cycle, but we'll see. You never know. But the fact that the banks are lowering the rates tells me the Fed's going to follow. They don't want a problem. They know they have problems out there. All the commercial loans are coming due soon. You had a paradigm shift after the pandemic when nobody wanted to go back to work. So all these big companies in New York, Fornado, SL Green, are in trouble. You know what I mean? They could say they're not all they want, but then you get a group like Carlyle or Blackstone comes in and buys all their debt for pennies on the dollar. So it'll work out. They'll be saved or bailed out.
So what are your hot picks right now?
Well, I can't really give you hot picks, but
Well, what is what?
So you got a
what's
very
what's
big-
on-
all right.
What's on your radar
so
screen
you got a
right
very big disconnect between gold stocks and the price of gold.
now? Mhm.
People have been obliterated in gold stocks. So you got to follow the money. The smart money is buying gold stocks. So there's a company, ASA. It's been around since 1958. It's a closed-end fund. For the first time in 20 years, I think it was, the CEO actually bought $2 million worth of ASA.
Mhm.
That's a rarity,
That's a testament
but
to
that's
the-
following the money.
Mhm.
If gold starts going higher, the gold majors are going to start getting rid of their hedges and taking them off. The small companies, the juniors, have to hold those hedges because they have debt due and everything due, and they don't have a choice.
Right.
But the majors like Newmont, Barrick, all the big majors will take those hedges off. So I think you have a major disconnect between gold stocks and gold. And if they start pushing money again, they start printing, you're going to see gold hit new highs next year.
Okay.
That's what I think.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
I've always been afraid of gold because of the volatility that's involved in it.
There's a lot of volatility, but it's been wiped out.
You get in, you get out, do you stay the course, do you go long gold, or you just play
So
gold?
there's AISC, which is all in sustaining cost, right? With the price of energy going up, that makes it very harder for the miners because their costs are going through the roof. So if it was 900, it becomes 1100, but still, even if it's at 1300, gold's at 2000 now. And all the money's in tech. If a little bit pulls down and goes into the metals, you're going to have an explosion.
All the money is in seven stocks.
7 stocks.
7 stocks.
So you've had a bear market. So you've had the worst quarter ever in the history of value companies. So you have value companies down here and techs up here, right? Eventually, it might take time, but you're going to get this pull in. So you're going to catch the yield in between. And eventually value stocks will bounce and come back.
Okay.
If you buy the right companies, right, or the right businesses. But with rates where they are, people don't realize it. Everyone says they're in cash. They're getting 5% in money markets and T-bills and treasuries. They're not, it's another asset class. So they're going to have to pull back out of that asset class. And when that money comes into the market, you're going to get an explosion. So it's probably going to happen when rates start to come down.
I've taken that path a little bit.
Yeah.
In my older age here, I've actually gone and I started to ladder some 3-month CDs.
Right.
All right. So I'm sitting, 5.5, 5.6% on some money. So I'm not losing money on my cash, right? But I got it tied up for 3 months here and then another 3 months, just watching where things are going. And then, like you say, when that first CD comes, it's paid out in the end of January, then I have cash now to drop into something that if the market's starting to move, I start to purchase.
Look, the market likes to separate people from their money the best they can. It does. You sell at extreme highs, you buy at extreme fear. And in between is all day trade and they eventually lose, right? It's gambling. So at the end of the day, if you're buying good companies for long-term value, that have great business plans, right? The first thing you look at is what the company is about, then the CEO who's managing the company, and then their distribution. If all that's in line and the stock's way into value, sometimes the market prices things wrong and it's going to come back. It's that simple.
Wow. I'll have to keep an eye on things because I have to figure out long-term
Yeah.
living off investments. And
you probably want to be more conservative.
Well, yes and no. I've analyzed that in my own head. And I said, I've done well being semi-aggressive in my life. But of course, like you say, I could tell you, the dips and the fears, right? So you have another 9/11, God bless, hopefully not, or another pandemic or some crazy shit like that, like you said, when the market drops.
We'll take the market down in a black swan event, an EMP. And the internet's closed for 5 days and you can't get to your money.
Let's hope
that would, but I'm saying, but that would be the only black swan event that I can think of that would take the market down.
So what I would do, what I think my plan is that I got a chunk of money. It's a big bucket of money, right? Take 60% of that, and that's long-term investment. That's aggressive money, okay? Because you know what? If I could survive dips and then regrowths out of that for 10 years, because I don't need that money, right? So I can look at that as if I was 40 years old, still running to 75. You know what I'm saying? Whereas immediate money, it's got to be conservative. It's got to be easily accessible.
Absolutely.
Right. So I can pull out what I need. And then each year you take from your long term and you filter in. And you should have, I think I need like 3 years of good short term money. Okay. And then to have long term, medium term, and then long term. Right. And then you just start rolling out what you need as you go on. Because the reality is when I'm saying,
as you get older, the growth effect should be lower.
Yeah.
The conservatism should be higher.
Absolutely.
Right. Know your customer.
Mm-hmm.
Rule 1.
So
rule number 1 is don't take the big loss. You know what rule number 2 is? Don't forget rule number 1.
Don't forget rule number 1. Exactly. Let's take another quick commercial break. This is the last one for the night. We're already at 7:30, man. We've been running right along without even realizing it. And then when we come back, let's talk a little more about Rockefeller and what Rockefeller's doing.
Bocock Brothers Cigars, a new and active brand
founded
by two Honduran brothers, Bryant and Douglas Bocock. The brand zeroes in on those folks that are looking for easy-to-smoke cigars inspired by unusual circumstances. Very importantly named after their very interesting and imitable last name, Bocock. Right now, Bocock Brothers is featuring their signature edition, made at the A.J. Fernandez factory in Esteli, Nicaragua. It features an Ecuadorian Sumatra wrapper, a Nicaraguan Habano binder, and a Nicaraguan filler. Available in 3 popular formats, a Robusto, a Toro, and a Gordo. You can check out Bocock Brothers Cigars at www.bocockbrothers.com. And today's show is brought to you by Platinum Nova Cigars. Platinum Nova is a family-owned and operated premium cigar company. Only the highest vintage tobacco and the most skilled hand workmanship go into the making of each Platinum Nova cigar. This results in a timeless blend of art and craftsmanship. The Nova brand and the family's work are a tribute and an honor to their grandfather to always remember him and his infinite passion for the finest cigars. Their love for cigars started with their grandfather, a dedicated master blender and entrepreneur in the cigar industry. So the next time you're looking for that exquisite cigar experience, pick up a Platinum Nova. You could check them out at Platinum Nova Cigars, www.novacigar.com, and on their Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter channels. This episode of Taking It to the Nub is sponsored by the Box Press Cigar app, the ultimate cigar smoking experience. With Box Pressed, you can easily catalog cigars with your own virtual humidor. Quickly rate and record notes for any cigar using the Smoke Session feature. Receive intelligent cigar recommendations based on your personal taste profile and access exclusive discounts from top cigar brands. You can even shop your favorite cigars directly in the app, then automatically sync the order to your virtual humidor. Plus, so much more. Download Box Press today by typing bxpr.sd/install into any web browser and discover the world of cigars like never before. That's bxpr.sd/install. And today's show is brought to you by All Saints Cigars, a company founded in 2019 and headed up by industry veteran Mickey Pegg and his two friends, Martin Corboy, a successful restaurateur, and Frank Leo, an Air Force Academy graduate military veteran. As Mickey explains it, they were all sitting down, talking and smoking cigars, and finally they decided that they would do this thing together. It was time. Mickey said, I decided if I'm going to work hard at it, it should be something I love. Besides, a tough day with a cigar is better than a great day doing anything else. Soon after, they began the process of launching All Saints Cigars, jokingly referring to themselves as the Holy Trinity, St. Michael, St. Martin, and St. Francis. They chose for their logo the cross of St. James, the patron saint of Nicaragua, the country where their cigars would be produced. You can check out All Saints Cigars at www.allsaintscigars.com.
Before you light your next cigar, be sure to check out Cigar Medics, the makers of the patent-approved humidimeter. The humidimeter is a tool designed to display the relative humidity inside your cigar. With this device, there's no more guessing. Simply insert the probes into the foot or cap of your cigar, and you can instantly know if your cigar is ready to be smoked. Buy now on cigarmedics.com and see site for other cigar accessories. With the humidimeter, you'll know when to hold them and know when to smoke them.
All right. Thank you for my advertisers. Without them, again, the show's always a little harder to do. I appreciate everything you have. And you are an advertiser of mine on the main site. So thank you again.
You're welcome.
Long term, it's been a great relationship we've had. You are about to go to, now, PCA this year will be number what for you?
I don't know. I didn't go the last one or the year before, but 6 or 7 maybe.
Yeah. So this is this is a new PCA that we're moving towards. You know, we just kind of settled our lawsuit, although it's not settled. It's gonna get appealed. You know, there's always some bullshit involved, but the vibe is good. The vibe right now is good.
The vibe in the industry is good.
It's a good vibe. You're gonna be going there. You're gonna have your own booth.
Yeah, if we do it, yeah.
Okay. And what is your when you go to a show like that, what is your primary goal with that show?
Is to expose to as many people as possible my cigar. You know what I mean? I'm not looking to go to that show to get rich. I'm looking to go to that show to get my cigar out to everybody across the country. That's our primary goal.
Okay. And
when we advertise, we want our cigar out as many hands as possible so people can try our cigars. The feedback from, I would say, is the stores and the people are the most important thing we have.
so do you have when you go to the show, they have a list of everybody that's attending the show. Do you reach out to them? I think you get all the emails.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah.
You send an email blast telling them that, inviting them to
Yep.
the booth and all of that. And do you have a strategy as to the shops that you're not in, the regions that you're not in, where you want to bring them over?
So I want to build up Arizona.
Arizona.
That's my next goal. Yep. I want to build up Arizona. Not as much California, but mostly Arizona.
Why Arizona?
It's becoming a great cigar market. It has been for the last 2 to 3 years.
What's the taxation?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Now, where are the hot shops? Obviously,
Phoenix, Scottsdale.
Scottsdale, right? Big operations out there.
Very big operations out there.
Yeah, I've only been to Arizona once in my life, and I don't think I was ever in a cigar shop when I was there.
Well, you were probably at the Grand Canyon like everybody else.
We were in Red Rocks,
Red Rocks.
definitely in the Red Rocks. We flew into Phoenix and drove up. So beautiful place.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Beautiful place.
I remember I had a Wall Street convention there one year. Me and my wife, when I first met her, we took a Hummer we rented. We went into this and we were all dressed up for the event. And we went up into the Red Rocks. I had red clay all over my
Oh
car.
yeah.
So I come back to pull my Hummer up and it's got black Hummer with red clay all over the place. And we're walking out of the car, dressed to the nines for the event. And everyone's looking at me, who the fuck is this guy? You know what I mean? It's like, this is crazy.
I know when we hiked up in the Red Rocks and we were there in God, it had to be late winter, early spring, right? So it was cold at the top of those trails. And
Right.
it was actually, there was snow flurries that we caught. But we got off the beaten trail a little bit, and we kind of got disoriented as to what trail to take back to the parking lot. And
That happens.
and we were just walking around like, what the hell are we? And how do we get? And I'm listening for noises, like
Yeah,
people.
That's smart.
Just to hear and see, where am I? Because I literally got lost in the rocks.
Yeah, I mean, life is all about experiences. And as you get older, it's more and more about experiences. So I agree.
Yeah. I'm old. I'm old as dirt. That's all I know. I'm getting really happy to.
So you look good, man. When I first met you, a heavy
Oh,
guy,
my
you turn your
God.
whole life
That's-
around,
this
man.
is- this-
You hit the mountains last year. I mean, who's better than you?
Who's better than me is Tom Poser.
Yeah, that's right. What he did,
Tom,
what Tom Poser did was absolutely
he
incredible.
eclipsed anything I ever did. I mean, don't get me wrong. Climbing a mountain is not easy. I will tell that to anybody. Climbing down the mountain is harder than climbing up the mountain, grueling on your knees and your legs and your ankles.
Yeah, but what he did was incredible.
But he did something incredible. I mean, that is a bucket list item that very few people accomplish. And he did it.
So my son likes to bike, and I told him the story. He was like, "Man, Dad, I wish I could do that one day.
Yeah.
Go from San Diego to Florida on bike."
I mean, I wouldn't mind. Literally, I wouldn't mind hiking the Adirondack Trail, or a good portion of it. Because I'm a guy. I love the mountains.
Yeah, if you don't get any timber rattlers, you're good.
Rattlesnakes right here.
No, timber rattlers are no joke upstate New York.
No, I remember I was in Costa Rica once, and we were on a tour. We were going on a tour through the mountains, and as we're walking down the trail guide stops us, right? And he says, "Go this way." So we go around him, and he's got his eye on a rock. We're going around,
Sure,
and
there's
he
a
points
snake
out
right
this
behind the
rock, and there's a rock. There's a snake under the rock, and it's one of the most poisonous snakes in
Costa Rica, yeah.
in Costa Rica. And he says, "Yeah, that thing will put a hurting on you."
Yeah, you gotta be
And
they know though from knowing the terrain.
Oh yeah, but it's the same place. We're in the resort, and there is a coral snake, right? And there's these cement steps,
Yeah, they're coming
right?
up. Yeah.
And this coral snake is at the bottom, trying to going up, but can't get up the thing, right? It's spinning around doing its stuff. And these crazy tourists are like, "Oh, what a beautiful snake." And I look at them, I say, "Stay away from that.
Yeah.
That'll kill you."
Yeah.
And they're like, "What?" I said, "That's got the venom of a freaking oh, stop. I just drew a blank. The cobra. It's got the same venom as a cobra.
Yeah, I mean those snakes are vicious.
They're vicious.
You living down in Florida, you see so many different
Mhm.
creatures, right? So many different kinds of lizards and reptiles. And my son loves all that stuff. He bought 2 king snakes home in the house once. One of each one. He loves it.
Things are nice.
My daughter loves animals
Corn
too, so it's
snakes are
good.
nice too. I had a nice, beautiful corn snake in the garage here
Yeah.
just a few weeks ago.
Ziggy must have loved that.
Yeah, Ziggy didn't get near the corn snake. Ziggy chases snakes. He catches snakes. He gets the black races and he just chunks.
Oh yeah,
them
they're
and
fast.
spins them
But
around.
they're non-venomous.
No, but they bite fast.
Yeah.
They will bite you.
Yeah, but
But they're just
everything will bite you. So anyway, so yeah, so that's what's going
So
on.
you're doing a PCA, you get this big thing. Are you you're going to Rima's wedding
Well, when's Rima's wedding? That's right. I forgot
at
about,
PCA,
right.
right? So you better be
Even if
there.
I don't do it, I might just fly to PCA, just go to his wedding.
You gotta go to his wedding, man. Who
John
doesn't?
Rima's a good dude, man.
He is a fabulous
Johnny
individual.
smokes. Yeah.
And you know, I was blessed that he raised so much money for us for this climb.
Yeah,
And
he's a good
put his
dude.
flag up, and so it is fascinating.
Yep, his fiance is good dude too. They're good people.
They are really good
I
people.
just saw them at Lazona,
Oh yeah,
so it was nice to see everybody down there.
that's always a fun event, right?
Yep. Eric's a great guy. Hector's good people. They all are.
That event, and again, anybody that's listening, if you want to know how you get invited to Lazona Palooza, just post Espinosa every day hashtag, post out Espinosa cigars as often as you can, and they track that. They track every bit of that, and that's where they make their list, and they invite.
And he's a good friend, and he's always welcomed me with open arms, and especially when I came down here. So I appreciate that.
And his journey is special too.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Just a rep, just a guy.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
You know, and he was able to thread the needle
Yeah.
into something what I would describe now, you know, in my world of cigars, when I look at large, medium, and small companies, he's medium, hands down medium company. I don't say he's large yet. Okay. He's not a Drew Estate. He's not a he's not a my father yet, but he's getting up there.
There's some great guys in this industry. I mean, the fun of this industry is the blending for me and meeting all the people at different lounges that I go to. That really, it's just a wonderful feeling. We got a lot of stuff going on. We're working on hitting Europe soon,
You're gonna do
which was one of the original goals I had when I first got interviewed by Coop, I think, and you, that, yeah, that we were going to hit Europe. That's one thing. And then we're working on a whole new line, right?
so, well,
so we got the
you're gonna
vintage
do
line.
Into tobacco?
Probably, yes. It looks like this September, if not the following. So I'm definitely doing it to tobacco. So how do I explain this? So we have a whole new line. So we had the vintage Rockefeller cigar line, which is our core line. We have our Dominican line, and we're about to come out with another new line that we're working on with an actual member of the original Rockefeller family.
Okay.
And we're going to be, you know, making cigars for them probably. So there's a lot going on with the company.
It's an interesting twist, considering where the company originally was coming from.
Right. So that's going to be a whole different line, whole new bands, whole new boxes. It's going to be a whole different thing. It'll probably happen next year sometime, but
So then you can create a whole rubber baron line.
Robert Barron, yeah.
I don't know if they'd appreciate that, but it's a fact, right? You know, you could do that. You could do Vanderbilt. You could do. You go,
It's going to be a very high-end cigar, though.
okay. And of course, you're going to do it with them, so there's a VIG involved for them too.
It's always a big involved.
Right.
I'm from New York. There's a big involved in everything. The way I grew up.
Yeah. So yeah, we talk about VIGs and stuff. When we were up in New York, it was like we had we went to this Bronx Zoo, and then we went to Little Italy in the Bronx, hung out with Paulie.
The original Little Italy, Arthur
Original.
Avenue.
Yes, Arthur Avenue. And what was crazy is that as we were coming down Arthur Avenue, it was about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We were gonna do dinner around 5:30. There's lights down on Arthur Avenue, you know, like police lights. Like, somebody got pulled over, there's traffic as always, but it's a little more than normal. And then I get up near that first part of Arthur Avenue where it all begins,
Yeah.
and they've got police tape across the road. I'm like, God, man, somebody got an accident. So I drive around. I'm going to drive into the parking lot, which is right on the other side of Hamilton, I think it's called. And the parking lot is empty, and there's police tape at the parking lot entrance. They're like, ooh. So I call Paulie. I'm like, hey, man, what do I do? He goes, no, come back around. They're going to open it up.
Yeah, don't worry
He
about
goes, I'll tell you about it when you get here.
it.
So I said, it's closed. They got the tape. He goes, no, they're taking it down now. Don't worry.
That's what I miss about New York.
So I come around, and Arthur Avenue is now open, and I pull up in front of Paulie's place, and he takes a pylon out, moves it out of the way, and says, park your car right here. Right. So got the front row
Old
parking
school,
spot.
yeah.
I got all these people looking around like, who is this guy? Right. And then we sit down, he goes, oh, I'm a little early for dinner. We're waiting for my stepson and his wife to come down from Westchester, from Tarrytown. And I call him. I was telling him what was going on, that, I don't know what's happening. He goes, well, I don't know if I want to be there. Something really bad's going on. He goes, I don't worry about it. Just come on down. They can open it up. And then Paulie explains to me that, yeah, there were people that were, these migrants that were squatting in the apartment, and they were running prostitution out of it. So somehow there was an argument that got in the parking lot. There was gunfire and somebody died. Right.
Yeah, it's the wrong area you want to be
And
doing that.
they cleaned that place out, did their investigation, took all the tape down. And when they took that tape down, that place was operating as if nothing happened.
Yep.
It just went on. So we're sitting in Paulie's place. He goes, hey, you want to have an appetizer? I said, I'm going to have dinner, of course, Dominic's. And he goes, have a pizza. A pizza? I said, I'm going to eat dinner. I'm going to eat a big Italian meal. But he has those nice brick oven pizzas. He gives me the pizza, he gives me this, he gives me that, get the wine and all of this.
Yeah, I miss New York. I miss going to New York. I miss my friends in Howard Beach and that area in Queens, right? I miss certain areas in Long Island.
Oh,
right?
it was fabulous.
I miss going to Honey and Humidor all the time, which was my lounge there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Harry, I love Harry.
Harry
from Harry's Savannah.
Baby, come on.
Yeah, baby.
Come
I think he's in Quebec. You never know where he is. He could be in Quebec. He could be in Mexico. You never know. But that's what makes him so good, right?
He does. And he also has those cool gems of cigars that are hidden down underneath boxes, behind boxes, under shelves, that he'll start moving stuff
Yeah, it's
around.
like hidden treasures.
And it's like, hey, I forgot I had these.
Yep.
Have one.
Yeah, you go in there, it's like a treasure hunt.
Mm-hmm.
I found stuff in there going back 7, 8 years.
And my main stop up there, because I'm always camping in Garden City at my sister-in-law's house. And you've been to my sister-in-law's house.
Yeah.
I always go to Maxie's.
Right.
I just love going in there. Those guys. Jack is a wonderful person.
Yeah, he's been around a while.
Takes really good care of me every time I'm in there.
But you got great lounges everywhere there, man. South Shore Cigar Club, Village headquarters, out in Long Island. I mean, there's so many good places.
Have you done?
My friend Tony Anitra, who's the
Tony,
Doc's
yes.
porch. Yeah, so he works at South Shore Cigar Club.
Yeah.
So I always go see him over there. I mean, it's just so many great places, man, all over the country.
The hardest part.
Atlantic Cigars in Pennsylvania, they're great guys.
Being out of New York, right?
Caravan's a great cigar lounge. I love that little
I've
lounge.
not been to Caravan.
Great. I mean,
Everybody talks
Fed
about
and Brian, they're great people. And the other son, Kevin, they're good people, man.
But the thing is, when you're out of New York now, right?
We're there in Pennsylvania.
You're going to
but yeah.
add a couple more years to it being out of New York. So a couple of years from now, you're going to go back to New York to visit. And the problem when you go back home is there's family, okay? There are some close friends that you haven't seen in a while. And if you're there for a week, that consumes you because you're going to dinner with friends.
Yeah. No, it's true.
And everybody says, hey, come on out to here, come on out to
Right.
here. And you're like, you just don't have the time in a day. I have to go to New York. I told my wife, I said, we're going to go to New York sometime. We're going to go up there and we're going to spend a month in New York.
Well, I just saw Danny from Tobacco Plaza down in at Lazona. And I always, that was like my Sunday. I used to hang out there on Sundays sometimes. Great time. You know what I mean? So there were great lounges there. There are great lounges in Texas, right? From
Texas.
Austin, San
Oh my
Antonio,
God.
Redlands. Scott is the best.
San Antonio. I just did an article.
And then forget about it. Underground. in Fort Worth is one of the most
just-
phenomenal
It
shops.
is a great shop.
Then you got El Dorado and Rockwell. Kurt, he's awesome. You got great people all over, man. And if I didn't name them, I'm sorry, but
I just did an article on a place I went
Lake
to.
Word Cigars is another one.
Oh yeah,
that-
absolutely.
One of the biggest humidors in Texas.
Yep.
Good people, man.
Yep. No,
Really, really down to earth, straight up people.
I was saying I was down in San Antonio on business, and wherever I go, I look for cigar shops. Right now, the only place close to me would have been Cigar International.
Right.
Okay, which we went to one night. Right. But the place I found myself at was this restaurant, kind of oyster house bar, right on the Riverwalk.
Right.
Now you can't smoke on the Riverwalk,
Right.
right, anymore. Used to, not anymore. But this place has this beautiful restaurant downstairs, a lot of good food. They got a very small humidor, and there's a deck an outside deck on the second floor overlooking the Riverwalk. And below they have a band, they have a jazz band playing all the time. And the music just filters up beautifully. It's not loud, but it's loud on the street level, but it's not as loud up top. But up top is the cigar area. And all the cigar smoking people all sit up top, overlooking the Riverwalk, smoking cigars and having drinks. It's the only place in the Riverwalk you can do this.
Tobacco House in Texas is another good one. I mean, they're all, and then you go to South Carolina. We saw there was a store in Columbia called Cigar Militia. Great store.
Yeah, Kevin talked to me about it. So talk, that's a good topic, man. Let's talk about that collaboration. Because I think you hit it out of the ballpark with that. So one of the things you do, which I give you great testament for, because a lot of brands, they do their brands and they're on their brand, right? You've taken it to the next level, okay, where you not only making yours, but you're helping others, and you've been producing some brands for other people,
Right.
Like Kevin Schweitzer,
Right.
You created his cigar with him. I mean,
Yes.
together you guys collaborate, and you knocked it out of the ballpark with that cigar. Everybody's been talking about that.
Yeah,
I
it was
gave
an
a
unbelievable cigar.
phenomenal cigar. Who else you working with? That is
Certain store owners, which I can't really comment because, we did a lot for Harry. Working on some other people's individual brands that I've been working for them, special one-offs. And there's actually a whole host of people, but they don't want their name out there.
right. So when you work with these people, what are they telling you they want in a cigar? Right?
So
'Cause
I
you know
ba-
what you like in a cigar.
So they basically tell me the kind of flavor profile they want. And since I have experience now, and by the way, I'm learning every single day, by no means do I know everything, right? I go out there and find that experience for them in their flavor profile that they will love.
You find them with having, is there a common flavor profile kind of with these shop owners?
So a lot of people want that sweetness of the jalapa
right
from Nicaragua, right? But then you get people who want more of a spicy cigar to hit you in the back of the throat with pepper. So it varies.
Right.
Then you want the cocoa notes. A lot of people want the cocoa notes. To me, it's, mild, medium, spicy, but floral.
Right.
Right. You tell them in Nicaragua you want cocoa notes, they'll tell you you're out of your fucking mind.
Unless they got
Right. But that comes from
grabbing it.
that comes from keep getting your palate better. And eventually you're smoking, like I said before, different fumas, and the notes pop out at you. So I pick up a cigar. I love blind smoking, right? Blind taste smoking without taking the bands off and smoking it. And they just pop out at me. I don't know. I'm lucky, I guess. It started to happen. It just started to happen.
Oh, you smoke enough.
Yeah, I do smoke enough.
You
But
learn.
Kevin's was very unique because he gave me an idea and what he wanted, and we discussed it. And he said, "This is the flavor profile I want." And it turned out originally it was supposed to be something else, but they didn't have that. So Juan Valdez blended something for him with a San Andreas wrapper that came out wonderful. And it had everything else we wanted, but didn't have the wrapper we originally wanted. And it came out terrific. And we're going to keep going with that brand because it's done really well and people keep asking for us to do it like once annually or whatever. And,
I would be doing
turned
it.
out great and
semi-annual.
great response. So we're going to do something with it. Yes.
For sure. Nick from Cigar Clowns chimed in.
What's up, Nick?
And Nick says, "Hello, gentlemen, two of my favorite people. Thank you very much."
Thank you, Nick.
Appreciate that. You ever think about working with them?
Yeah, we've had conversations in the past.
Because they always put out some unique stuff.
Yeah, the clowns. Yeah, they made one called a Kringle.
Yeah, the Kringle was
that I bought a bunch of them.
that
And
was
at the
crazy,
time,
dude.
the guy said to me, "I'll take 1,000 each cigar." So I called up Nick. They said, "Oh, they're all gone." And in the very, very beginning, I still have a couple of those Kringles left. That was a good little stick and it had some power.
Yes, it did.
Yeah, I remember that
They-
cigar.
They find they get some gems that they're out there working.
They
with.
do.
Short runs. They do a drop and they're gone. They're not in it to make $1 bazillion either.
Right.
But they're in there to, their journey always was described as try to find the perfect cigar, which never exists. So
Right.
you're always searching.
The perfect cigar is the one you like to smoke.
The one you're smoking now that's treating you well.
Right.
Exactly. So,
But yeah, Nick's a good dude.
so you're doing a PCA, you got the company growing. You have some new reps now.
Yeah, we have a new rep in South Texas, Ryan Schoenbeck. He's a great guy.
Okay.
People like him. Very smart guy, actually. He's a PhD. So it was funny when he was getting his card. I'm like, maybe you don't want to put PhD on the card because people might feel, you know, in a cigar lounge. But I said, you know, he's like, no, they'll love it. And I said, you know what? You're right. You go with it. He's a very smart guy, very creative guy.
What's his PhD?
He also plays guitar, man.
Yeah,
He's a good dude.
love that.
We still have Raphael up in the Northeast, who's from Cuba, who's a great guy.
So what are you gonna do when you open up Arizona? How you can?
I got to find the right rep for Arizona.
So you only work
I'm gonna
with,
fly out there.
you only work with reps, not brokers.
If I find the right broker, let's put it that way. But I pretty much carry the whole Southeast.
That's a hard thing. You know, that's like the hardest part of the puzzle.
I loved it, man. I
is
was
to
in
get
North
good-
Carolina,
to get
Talent
good
Smoke,
reps.
Vintage last
To
week.
get good reps is the hardest part of the puzzle, I think, for a growing brand.
Yeah.
Because there are some reps that just, you know, they don't want to open accounts, or they want to just service accounts. They get their vig. There are reps that really break their ass and do stuff.
You have to know how to close. You have to be a salesman. It's all emotionally based.
Mhm.
And you want to give them a good cigar to smoke, right? And people like stories. And if there's a good story behind it and it's a good cigar, it should sell.
So how do you train like a new rep?
I go out with them first
Okay,
and go through it with them,
right.
right? But you know, everyone's so on their phones now. They're not used to that personal interaction that we used to have.
Yeah.
I worked on Wall Street for 35 years. Every day it was personal interaction. You know what I mean?
Sure. That's what you need to have.
Yeah.
Business is built on personal
There's
relationships.
on relationships, and you have to see through the forest, through the trees. You go into a store, you have to know what their needs are too, right? And there are some stores that were not the right fit, but that's okay. You know what I mean? That's okay. And then they wonder, why aren't we the right fit? It's funny.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you know, it's just built on personal relationships, getting to know people. I could say that a lot of these store owners have become my friends
Oh, I would
more than
think
my
so.
customers. You
Yeah,
know
I
what I'm
think so.
saying?
Of course.
And that's what we try to bring out to everybody. We try to bring that whole love in the community, in the whole cigar industry.
Now, where are you on the level of cigar costs these days? So I'm seeing the costs go up again. Okay. Once again, I've seen another ratchet. I'm going to say that by next year, the average price of a cigar on the shelf is going to be about $13.95, $14.50. Okay. Based on what I've seen on the pricing.
Well, there was some floods in Ecuador that destroyed a lot of plants this year.
Okay.
All right.
So that's not going to show up though for 2 years.
2 years. And then there was surprise. Then, you know, with the Connecticut and Connecticut Valley had some issues too with some bad plants, as you know.
Right. So that's going to be.
We haven't raised them again yet. We'll see come January what's going to happen.
So you think people hedge on that? Say, I'm going to raise the price now to cover for the shortage later?
Maybe,
Or,
maybe, but you've seen a lot of increases.
yeah. Oh, there's been quite a few.
And we've kept ours down. You know, we're pretty fair, but a lot of people.
Especially on the new, not always on the existing line. You know, if that existing line is $11.95, it's probably still $11.95.
Right.
But the new one that comes out, all of a sudden it's $13.95.
Right, because limited editions cost more. There's a lot of involvement in them. There's a lot of artwork to be done. Yes, it's a lot different.
And limited editions also. I just smoked the Mi Querida Black Unicorn last night.
It's a good cigar.
And now I've smoked the Sakakon. I just reviewed the Papa Saka, which I thought was phenomenal.
It was a good
I
cigar.
thought that was an awesome cigar. And then I smoked the Unicorn. And the one thing I'll say about the Unicorn, I didn't review the Unicorn. I just wanted to smoke the cigar.
Right.
Right. Sometimes you just do that. And the first thing I noticed about the Unicorn was the wrapper. It's the same wrapper. It's a Connecticut broadleaf. But that wrapper, compared to the other two cigars in that line, is a much nicer wrapper. So it's extremely limited edition.
Right.
Right. It's a Unicorn. And I can see, you know, why things cost more, because if you talk yield, right, the yield of that leaf that he secured for that line, a very small amount of that qualified for the Unicorn.
Right.
The rest of it qualified for the rest of the line.
Right.
But the Unicorn,
It's a higher priming, yeah.
yeah, you only got so much to work with.
Right.
So therefore, the price is
Skyrocket.
going
Yeah.
to skyrocket up on you because you're not going to just get that on the normal soccer
No,
card.
it's going to cost him more money too. Yeah.
It's going to cost more money for that, right? So yeah. So limited editions. I see a lot of limited editions these days. Sometimes I think we're overdoing limited editions in
Right.
this industry. Okay, I don't know. Is tobacco that scarce that you can only do limited editions? You can't get your hands on enough to do a larger run, or you teasing the market with a limited edition to see how they like it, and then if it's a hit, then you make it production.
Right.
What is that? Is that how you see it?
That's how I see it.
Yeah. So
I mean, there are certain manufacturers, when I can say who, but it will create a false demand that's worked out for them phenomenal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. Right. So, what are you doing? You were home, you said, for a few weeks.
Spending time with the kids.
Spending time with kids, you watching some TV with them?
Yes, something like that, watching TV. No, we really don't have TVs in our house.
Really?
Yeah, my wife was against TVs in the very beginning. It's the MIT mindset. The kids don't get screwed up with the advertising and everything.
No.
So she was against that at the beginning.
So what about streaming good
yeah,
shows?
so streaming shows. I've gone to a bunch of cigar lounges with my friends. I've just relaxed, getting ready for that December, January run.
Right. Because it's gonna break your balls.
Yeah, it's gonna break my balls.
A lot of sweat going into it, and the reward will be great for you.
Yeah,
for sure. You're following college football?
yeah, big game tonight.
Game going on right now. I guess FSU. FSU has to win tonight. If they win tonight, I say they get the four seed. If they lose, they're out of it.
I mean, there aren't many quarterbacks coming out next year except Drake May from the Tar Heels and Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
You know what I mean? So
they're growing. All these teams are in a growth state right
yeah.
now.
I mean, I've been a Raider fan since I'm 8.
I know you are.
You know what I mean? It's been tough.
Excited to go back to Vegas and see the Raider Stadium again.
Yeah.
I'm excited to go to Vegas and see the Sphere.
Oh yeah, that MSG spun it up. Yeah.
I'm looking for this. I want to see this thing. They say going inside of that's even more special than the outside.
That's what I heard too.
See concerts or whatever. Concerts, by the way, you a Stones fan? You're a Stones fan.
Stones fan, yeah, of course.
So they got a tour they just announced.
Yeah, he's 80 years old. Yeah, why not?
They have a tour going.
Keith
on
Richards
there.
is 80, and I think Mick Jagger's what, 79, 80?
They're both 80.
They're both 80.
And they just announced their tour.
They have a new album.
They have a brand new album. I got it on the turntable. Right
That's amazing.
It's called Hackney Diamonds, man, which is I would say that when it comes to Grammy time, I will say it here. There's at least one of those songs is going to win a Grammy.
Wow.
For something. Okay. The album itself could possibly win a Grammy, but
I saw them in 1984 at the Carrier Dome in Syracuse.
Steel Wheels tour was right.
Yeah, very good.
No, that was an awesome tour they did. I love that concert when they did that. But this one is all new songs.
Wow.
First time in 18 years they produced an album with all new songs, except for the last song. The last song is fun because what they did.
What's the last song?
It's a Rolling Stone. Okay, the old blues song.
Yeah.
So they redid that, and what's
Bob
really
Dylan.
fun is at the very end, they get that lyric. You're gonna, the baby in the, you have a baby boy. He's gonna be a Rolling Stone.
That go rolling.
Jagger sings that at the end.
Wow.
And you just like.
He did that in concert when I saw him in '84.
It's like, yeah, you are a Rolling Stone, brother.
The energy that guy had is just unreal.
Still does.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It still does. They were saying even when they recorded that album, right? It was just they did the whole album in a few weeks.
Yeah, no, it's incredible.
Okay? But they brought in all these guests on it. You've got Paul McCartney playing bass on a fuzz bass.
Wow.
On one of the songs, a deep, hard, fuzzy bass. You've got Lady Gaga and Stevie Wonder on the song about heaven. And when you listen to the lyrics on every song, you could pick out some lines in every song that you could basically thread together. And Jagger's telling a story. from the very first song, Angry, which he's all angry, right? And I think that has a little bit to do with Charlie Watts dying, okay? And then taking it all the way through to all these other songs, it's a similar thread where he's talking about getting old and this and that. You know, I just want to get away from things. I want to go to a cabin in the woods with no phone, no nothing. Kind of, it's strange lyrics.
You know, when he came out with the song in the 60s, As Years Go By,
yeah,
that song, I was listening to it as a young kid. And now when I listen to the song years later, it has such a different meaning.
yes, it does.
You know what I mean? It was one of the best songs they ever came out with.
And then that last song where they said Sounds from Heaven, right? It kind of ties it all together because he's getting, I won't say he's getting uber religious on it, but he is, I think, looking at himself, realizing, okay, Charlie died. He's 80. Keith is 80.
Yeah.
All right. Ronnie's up there. Your number's coming up. And I think he's realizing his mortality
That's pretty cool.
on this album. And he's telling people about it all, you know. And then when you go into that song with Lady Gaga and Stevie Wonder, and he start those lyrics, even to the point where he says, "Bless the Father, bless the Son, hear the sound of the drums."
Wow. I gotta listen to it. Yeah.
It's like, what are you're telling a story, man.
Yeah.
And none of the critics that I've seen out there that have talked about it, and most of them said it was a good album, nobody's mentioning this.
That's interesting.
And it's like, you're not listening to the song. And I've listened to this album like I play it every day.
No,
You know,
after the show, we'll listen to it.
and
I
it's
can't
on
wait to hear
this
it.
super heavy white vinyl,
That's wild.
right? So it's not like cheapy vinyl. So the sound quality, I've heard it on like streaming, and then I play it on the turntable, and it's like
Wow.
night and
That's
day,
pretty cool.
night and day. But yeah, so music, absolutely. So that's the next. I'm considered getting tickets, but they're playing in Orlando. I think I'm not sure if they're playing in Miami or not, but they're not doing New York, which is weird.
No, it's not weird with everything going on in New York now.
It's jagged.
It's not weird.
They live in it. I mean,
They do live in New York, but it's
I mean,
not weird.
You're not doing Meadowlands, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, come on, you gotta, it's going to be a huge concert, right? So anything else? Anything else going on?
Well, I mean, I told you a lot about what we got going forward,
Right.
with Europe, with the new reserve line that we're coming out with, the Art of Magic cigar we're coming out with. I mean, that's a lot. I mean, a lot of traveling.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
You'll
We want
enjoy it.
everybody to enjoy the Rockefeller cigars. We want everybody to get these new cigars in their hands and love them. But one thing we like to do is we like to give cigars out ahead of time
Right.
to our retailers and let them try them and get the feedback from them by them giving to their customers and getting the feedback back. That's how we grow,
Right.
right?
Okay.
And a lot of people don't realize how important that is. But retailer feedback and consumer feedback is the most important thing, right? The end game is to catch the end consumer.
Of
That's the
course.
game, right? Well,
Of course. And you've got a plan. You've executed it very well. And I think your journey to Europe, I wish you the best of luck with that.
yeah, it's
I
not
know
going to be easy.
there's competition involved in it, but
But there's also a niche market where there's not competition involved.
Right. How
From a
do you-
business standpoint, you got to look at the different markets and different demographics in Europe and know which country to hit. And there are certain countries we're targeting, which I'm not going to talk about right now.
so, but as we all know, the European palate is shifting.
It's actually evolving, yes.
Yes, it's evolved. There are a lot of European consumers that read stuff that I write, Coop and Half Wheel and others. And I remember somebody said to me 3 years ago that or so, and in at the back, people like going, "How come we can't get what you guys got in the US?"
Right.
They want that. They want to try it. And I was in
Well, in Europe,
Spain.
it goes through distributors, right?
yes.
So we sell the distributors that
That's
goes
correct.
out to stores.
Yeah, they take care of all the extra
Correct.
boxing and packaging
Correct.
they got to do
It comes right from the factory in Nicaragua, Dominican Republic, straight
Correct.
to Europe.
right to Europe.
So there's no middleman.
Well, the middleman is a distributor.
Right, which I mean, but it saves costs.
Yeah.
A lot of costs.
And I know, and I was in Madrid early in the year, and I've been to Europe a lot. And I walked into this beautiful shop in Madrid, and their humidor was huge and had all New World cigars. Right? You look around, it's everything we have on our shelves are in this humidor. Right? I was impressed. I'm like, wow, look at this. This is a testament to what we've been trying to do in the US, is breaking into the market. And then at the back of the humidor is a space about 2 feet by 2 feet for the Cubans. Now, 10 years ago, that was a reversed equation.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
10 years ago, it
Nicaraguan
was,
Dominican cigars have become more important in Europe than they ever have before. The palate's evolving. It's going from a lighter medium to stronger.
right.
But it takes time over a certain period of time.
Right.
Right. However, there is one concerning part that is concerning me. With China private equity firm buying out to this,
Right.
and China having their own farms now growing tobacco,
And being a part
we
of
don't know
Habanos.
what's going to happen.
Right.
Because with Macau and China and every other area in China, Chinese people smoke from cigarettes to cigars a lot,
Yeah.
a hell of a lot. And we don't know how that's going to affect the market. If it's going to overflood the market, we don't know.
Well, we know what they did to Habanos.
Right.
Okay.
Well, they own the brands now, the
They
distribution
just
rights.
jacked the prices up
300%.
It's insane
Right.
what they cost. And the guy even told me in Madrid, because there wasn't a lot of Cubans, and I said, "What's with the Cubans?" And he goes, "The Chinese, they buy them all. We can't even get them.
Right.
And when we get them, they sell out like that.
Right.
But we can't even.
And they
get
don't
'em."
age them because there's so much high demand. They
Yep.
don't have time to age them.
Yep. Yep. It's just shooting.
And that's
right
why
through.
the costs in Cuba have gone through the roof.
Oh, yeah, I agree. And that's exactly what he was telling me.
Yep.
So it's a tough thing. So I wish you the best of luck over there, because I'd love to see something. You got to think about, Rockefeller, and how do you spin Rockefeller into something similar?
Rockefellers are from France.
So you're gonna do, okay. So if you do French, you can get maybe capture a French market with the name, but would you want to be building a brand name? Okay, create a new blend or whatever for the European market. You've got Automagic, you've got your Rockefeller main line.
I don't think Art of Magic would go over to Europe,
No,
but I think there'd be a certain line, like this reserve line could go to Europe very easily.
right. Yeah.
So that's what we're aiming at.
Yeah.
But again, like I said, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens with China.
Oh, we'll keep an eye on it. They are disruptors, that's for sure.
Yeah. So it's gonna be, I'm very interested to see how that's gonna play out.
Okay. Very good. Well, Kevin, that was our hour plus show already.
Nice, man.
It just
Good
zipped
time.
right by. I love the fact you stopped by. We can sit back and listen to some music if you want. We can go out to
Yeah.
executive. You pick your choice. And hey guys, listen, love, like, and share this. We are going to have a giveaway next Saturday of a Rockefeller 5-pack. So get out there and love, like, and share it. And maybe you'll be on the Wheel of Wonderfulness and get some Rockefeller craft to enjoy. As always, I want to thank everybody for joining the show. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
I want to give you the last word.
I hope everyone smokes something good tonight, enjoys to sit back and relax after this Thanksgiving Day holiday. I know we all ate a lot. This is a very chill weekend.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Thanks for the sponsorship for those that sponsored. And we'll see you next week with Justin Shafiat and Shafiat Cigars. And the week after, I'll have Conscious Cigars on. So pay attention to those two shows. They're going to be fun shows. If you've never heard of Shafiat, you will learn about Shafiat, local small company here in Melbourne, Florida. So he's been crafting stuff for the last 4 years plus. So we'll check those out. Anyway, you all have a great night and stay smoky, everybody.
Good night, guys.